Hi, I'm playing a video game. Let's go! I was going to introduce this game by calling it Super Mario DDR Mix. Apparently, that's not the name, despite that being what I've always called it since I was much younger. It's actually called Dance Dance Revolution Super Mario Mix. With that stupid title out of the way, let's discover it. Like last year, we've moved into the month of togetherness, so this month will be focused on games that I play together with my family and friends, with one more traditionally romantic game at the end. Mario DDR was the first game we got on our GameCube, just before the GameCube was outdated enough that EB Games stopped carrying GameCube games. For those of you uninitiated in the DDR style of games, welcome out from under your rock. I am flattered that mine was the first video on all of the internet that you chose to watch. I would also suggest leaving the internet before you see something you can't unsee. But, just in case you decide to stick around, let's quickly explain the premise. Dance Dance Revolution, or DDR, is a type of rhythm game where you physically move on a square arrow pad in time to the music. As each arrow passes through the score zone, you step on the corresponding part of the pad in time. Or you play like a wuss on a controller because you're too much of a baby to use the dance pad. Or you only own one pad and want to play two-player. The big difference between this game and other DDR games is Mario! You play through Mario-inspired music, rather than actual Mario music for the most part, with iconic backgrounds and characters. It even has a story mode where you have to travel through several worlds to recover the magical musical notes that hold the power of music. Isn't that refreshing? Peach isn't in trouble, the villain to kick all this off is Luigi. Since when did he start anything more dangerous than a tennis match? I want to call it awesome, but it's still dancing. Really weird dancing.
You are an idiot for not getting them, Otter.
This is not news. Who said that?
Poor cat.
Oops. Overall, the story mode is kind of interesting the first time. And then it's really frustrating every time after that because it's packed full of excruciatingly slow dialogue that you just have to repeatedly step on the A button for minutes at a time to get past. There's no way to skip it, no way to speed it up, and you can't just hold the button, you have to tap it over and over. This is a very serious oversight, but perhaps could be overlooked if it weren't for the required replay. Mario and Luigi have entirely different song lists in their playthroughs of the game, and you have to save up enough money to buy the secret songs in the shop. Unfortunately, the songs are all that change between the Iconic Brothers storylines apart from the names. When you're playing through the songs, the game's wonderful. They're all upbeat and you can easily bob your head along with them. And they have that family-friendly, interactive feeling that you would expect from Mario. Sure, none of the songs you can play through are from any actual Mario game other than the Mario theme playing over the end credits as you dance through it with no day to fail, and the easiest opening song in the game, but they're still enjoyable. For the most part. Okay, so there are a few that really aren't that great, a few more are boring, and seriously, what is Twinkle Twinkle Little Star doing in here? But that is to be expected from a music game. If you're not supplying the music, it's never all going to be to your taste. If I could somehow skip unlocking all the songs in story mode and just play through them in free play, this game would have had everything I want out of it. Instead, you have to go through the story mode at least 2 times to unlock everything. On normal, this will be an incredibly boring experience, as it won't really challenge you if you're any good at this sort of game. I can't even play it like I used to because of my health issues, and I can't keep up with normal very easily. But once you beat the story the first time, you can increase the difficulty to hard, so that's solved. Now the game is too hard. I'm not bad at this game, but it practically demands perfection on hard mode. Throughout the story, there are several dance battles against the CPU computer. You can hit almost every single note, but you will still lose because you missed 3 notes and you weren't perfect on enough other notes. And before you try and say, well, it's called hard mode for a reason, Otter, hard isn't hard in this game, because there's more modes. So easy is essentially baby's first mode, normal is easy, hard is medium. Then comes very hard, which is closer to Rock Band's hard mode, and super hard, analogous to Guitar Hero's expert. So if hard mode is somewhat challenging mode, why are the dance-off battles treated as if I'm playing on super hard mode? They weren't this absurd on normal. Myth and I literally couldn't beat the story mode on hard. Maybe we were meant to buy the power-ups in the store, but that wastes the precious money you need to get the secret songs, which are expensive. That means you have to play through on normal repeatedly, which renders the experience even more boring. There isn't even a code to unlock the songs for free play, though there is one to play as Waluigi. I wish I knew the existence of that before I researched this after playing it. So where does that leave the game? The game itself isn't too expensive, but the mat is pretty well up there in price and doesn't seem to be very common. The story mode is dull and required for free play, but free play is a joy with family. So I would say, if you want to have a fun rhythm game to play with your kids and already have a GameCube, like you should, then this might not be a bad game for you to pick up, especially if you can find it for a price you find reasonable. The slow pace of story mode will help you and the kids figure out the game, and playing through it a second time will be kind of boring but not above expectations. And from that point on, you can just break out the mat and have a great time while getting some exercise. Now, if you'll excuse me, my painkillers are wearing off.